Yo, what's going on? It's your boy KaY RunnA. I'm here with my boy You Know Who, and we're here for another episode of
Peace of Wellness, ladies and gentlemen, a piece of wellness. I put up the prayer hands so y'all can feel the peace. Prayer hands.
And I'm not sick this week. I feel
He's not. What did you take?
Nothing.
Oh, wow. So that was just God. God just saved you. Okay.
I mean, look, that's why it looks like I'm in heaven right now.
Yeah, I know, right? You still here, right? Because we got work. We got a lot of work to do. I can't afford for you to be dead. You know what I mean? Bring him back. Oh, man. So what we got for today, man? What's the deal?
Man, you already know what it is. You know what I mean? Another question for another day, and another day equals another dollar.
And I'm going to holla. Holla, 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 holla.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. So, anyway.
That was my version of a holla.
Oh, gosh. All right, so anyway. All right, so today's question / topic is, ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? It is, what does it mean to move on?
Okay, so moving on. I never understood that, to be honest with you. And the reason why is just because, it's not like you leaving Earth. It's not like you're, you know what I mean? Like you're not going anywhere. You still live on the same block. You still live at the same address.
I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I never understood that when people would just be like, I'm moving on with my life. And it's just like, okay, but if I see you the same place years from now, did you really do anything?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what does moving on mean to you? And I'll try to explain it a little bit better, after you, but
so
a little rough.
I think it depends on what the situation is, right? If you're dealing with friends that are no longer good for you, moving on is, I am leaving you guys now. I'm no longer talking to you. You're no longer in my circle of friendship. Goodbye. Moving on could be, I'm leaving this job now because I'm going on to a place that's better, that has my better interests in mind. Thank you. Bye-bye. Moving on could be, I'm not eating like this no more. I'm no longer eating 1 pound cheesesteaks every day. I'm going to go on to
you just had one this weekend, though. Like, you literally just had one this weekend.
I mean,
Was that a moment? What happened? Like, a 1 pound cheesesteak? This is a piece of wellness, man, not a piece of cheesesteak. So I don't understand. How is it that you went to a 1 pound, and it's a 1 pound cheesesteak? I never had a 1 pound cheesesteak.
It was like this big. Like when they handed it to me, it was like, I'm holding it like this. I'm like, yo. It's like,
so they gave you a guitar. So you walked out with a guitar full of food.
Well, technically I didn't walk out. It was like a walk-up window. So, you just go up to the window, I actually called it in, though. I didn't want to wait until the window. I've actually seen this place in passing for years. For anybody who does not know what we're talking about, there's this place that's right under the L. For those of you who are familiar with Philly, it's right under the L, right at Lehigh. It's called 1 pound cheesesteaks. I've seen this place for years, never ate there until this past weekend. I was feeling pretty low. And
yeah, that's pretty low. That's pretty low. I don't think y'all understand what a pound cheesesteak is. Like,
I didn't eat it all in one sitting, though. Because each half of the cheesesteak was like the size of a regular cheesesteak. So you had to cut it in half. If I would have ate the whole pound in one sitting, I think there would be a reason to have concern. But there wasn't, though. Because the thing about it is that, as I've told you guys before on the show, I have a 4-week cycle of, how my diet goes. So week 1 is water and tea. Week 2, I add in fruits and vegetables. Week 3, I add in smoothies. And then by week 4, I can I can cheat. So that's what I did. I just got past week 4. Now this is the beginning of a new week. This Monday right here Monday, August 9th. Yeah, August 9th, is my cheat day. I mean, well, no, it's my water and tea week is what I should say. But long story short, though, back to the topic at hand, moving on, right? Because we're moving on from that topic now of the 1 pound cheesesteaks, which, for the record, any of you
we're gonna finish talking about this cheesesteak thing. I'm really not over it. I'm not over it. And that's another thing about moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you just never get over any situation, which makes it really hard to move on.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, I would say moving on, honestly, for anybody, it's really a hard thing to do. I have done it and still doing it today, and it's really coming to a really not even a fork in the road, a wall in the road.
No, it's that drastic.
It's that drastic sometimes. There's a whole wall in the road, like, you ain't going nowhere else. It's like, man, this is really just over. So it's like, once you don't have no choice, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I remember when it was time for me to leave my job, and for years people kept telling me, man, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. And I was thinking to myself, what are you talking about? I'm just like you. I clock in just like you. I show up late just like you. I don't want to be here just like you. Like, I don't understand what's so special about me, right? And then one day somebody was like, they was like, listen, man, if you keep messing up doing this and doing that, we're going to have to let you go. I was like, listen, I came here on my own. I'm going out on my own. All right, on my own terms. All right. So, I saw the text. I was like, listen, man, I'm good. It's been a pleasure, but I'm going to have to resign. This is my last day. I wish y'all the best, blah, 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 blah. And, it just felt right, the right time for me to move on with my life, the right time for me to go in the direction of, building my career as a coach and helping people with their careers as well. And it just felt like the right time. But, literally, I didn't have a choice, because literally the next day, the person who was trying to fire me got fired herself. So it's literally like, sometimes you might think moving on is like, oh, I don't want to do this, but really there's no other option. There's literally a wall in the road, and this is it. And whatever else you think that you can do, whatever you believe in, it's not true. And that's just what it is. But I would say that for moving on, for me personally, I just find that it is still difficult, it is hard, but it's really just life or death. That's really what it is life or death. Because if you're not ready to let go of the people, because some people, you might love them to death, but their lives will kill you.
Oh yeah, I know
people like that
personally. Yeah, man, I know people personally that's like, their lives, like, I had to let them go. I was happy. I was like, yeah. Like, but I knew it had to be under the right circumstances. If not, because there's the thing about moving on, people. It's like, you have to know when the time to do it is, because last thing you want to do is you make a move and then you find yourself coming back to the same situation because it was unresolved. It's like, you have to have legitimate, like, closure so that you don't go back. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be a moment where you're going to be like, it's either you close the door or life closes the door, and now you're living with regrets. So I'm the type of person where it's like, I try to wait for the right moment so that I know that I can never come back to this situation, or I let them make the decision. Most of the time, they never made the decision though. But it was like, what I've noticed with most people is that if they walk away from a situation, if the door's not closed, what will happen is that now the person might end up dying, and now they regret that they never actually talked to the person ever again, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. For me, it's like, no. If I left, I'm gone. Like, gone.
And that's another thing, too. I think that a lot of times people might say, oh, well, I regret that I didn't get a chance to talk to such and such or whatever. But the truth is, there was really nothing else y'all was going to talk about. Y'all already talked about everything.
No, I'm telling you, I've seen some of these things. No, you're right. There are situations that are like that.
Yeah.
There are. But I'm going to say for the people that I've dealt with, most of the time I've always had to be the bigger person, even in situations where the other person is dead wrong. So I knew that I ended up having to walk away from the situation.
Isn't it a song like that? Dead Wrong? Who sung that song?
Me.
Dead Wrong. Oh yeah, I was listening to that the other day.
But like,
oh, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
No, but I was for the other person, right? Like I know that if I've done everything I could do, I'm good. I can walk away.
Right.
The other people, the people on the other end of that, the people that I've dealt with, who I know they don't have what it takes to be the bigger person for real.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to die tomorrow, they would have the regret.
They would. And I honestly, I will say this is that, I would say that if you're going to move on with your life, and we'll end it here because I know we're running out of time, but when you're going to move on with your life, seriously, make sure you don't have no regrets. Because there'll be people where, and having no regrets is really accepting that you might not see this person alive again. That's a powerful thing. I know that's hard for some people, but you have to realize that that is a high possibility. Everybody gets angry and upset, and they be in their feelings, and they be like, I ain't talking to you ever again until they dead. Dead is real. I'm gonna say that one more time for y'all, okay? Dead is real. So just keep that in mind when you try to move on with your life, that you might not see this person again. Next time you might see him is you might hear, hey, yo, such gone. So you have to keep in mind that, you have to weigh the options. Is their life, are they going to change? If you realize that they're not going to change, are you okay with not ever speaking to them again? Because eventually what will happen once you start moving on with your life is going to take control over you. Mm-hmm. And you won't have the time to look back. By the time you look back, you'll realize how much time it went by already. So that's why you really, really got to make sure that if you're going to move on with your life, ask yourself, is this somebody you really want to keep in your life? Or is this a situation where it's just time to move on? And you got to be okay with, the results, because you can't control everything. Everything.
Just to add on to that before we exit.
Yeah.
In order to be in that position, for anybody who's listening and watching this, in order to be in that position, that means most of the time you would have to be a bigger person. That means doing the thing that you might not want to do. But it's like when you walk away, you'll be the person that won't have the regrets because you know that you've done everything you can. You know what I mean?
And that's honestly, even for in my situations, I don't regret them because I gave the best of me in those situations. It was just never going to happen because I had what they wanted from me, I couldn't really give. And that's just what it is. Because sometimes what people want,
slavery,
is your soul. Okay, Shang Tsung style. Your soul is mine. They want that. Okay, you will be next. That's how they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
it's just like that.
It's just like that. So y'all have to keep in mind that don't give your soul away. Do not, if somebody's asking for your soul, don't give it away. I don't care if you love her. I don't care if you love him or her or whatever. I don't care. Do not give your soul away. If somebody is asking for your soul, they do not love you. They are trying to kill you on the low. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how you know if somebody really genuinely is for you and supposed to be in your life. If they help you to continue to grow without asking you to change who you are and what you stand for. Okay? helping you to continue to grow without asking you to compromise who you are and what you stand for. All right, because that honestly requires for a person to accept you, right? Most people don't accept each other. They want to change each other. But if a person accepts you, then that's only when they are good to be in your life. I have a motto, and I'm gonna leave with this: keep running until you find people to keep up with you. That's kind of how I see life. Just keep going in your direction, because the people who are supposed to be there, you won't have to switch up anything. They'll just be there. They'll be there because they're supposed to be there. And when it's time for them to part ways, be okay with that too, because sometimes there's something that's getting ready to come into your life that might be the next phase of what you need to learn, that you might didn't learn from the last situation, or that you might have outgrown the last situation, and this new situation is designed to teach you something else. So just keep that in mind when you guys think about moving on. But remember, dead is real. So when y'all move on from these people and you don't want to see them again, this ain't no joke. Dead is real. I'm gonna leave on that note. Peace.
Peace.